What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Kaiza-Sama, and we are back today with another Dokkan Battle video. And in today's video, we are basically just going to do a quick run over on the part 2 global Dokkan celebration. Now, everybody is pretty much hype at this point because we have just gotten the news recently that we are finally getting the LR standalone fusion that everybody has been wanting. So sit back, relax for a few minutes, and we're going to dive right into it. Now, for part 1, we are all aware that, Blue Vegito did not fuse. He is just a active skill attack, so that was pretty much what really kind of like set people off for part 1 and caused a part of the Dokkan community to be pretty upset. Now, for part 2, excuse me, I had to take a little sip. For part 2, we finally are getting the standalone Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta that we have all been begging for the past 5 years. The last time we had a Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta drop was literally in 2020. So the fact that we're finally getting him now as an LR, I'm pretty hyped. Now, a few ideas have also been spitballed out there about, how this Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is going to work. And then it kind of makes me question the name of him as well, because his name is not just Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, it's Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta Momentary, and kind of like a quotation type thing. So the whole thing with that is, what I'm praying for is not like, the case is that this Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta does not defuse. I'm really hoping that is not the case with this Gogeta, because if that is the case, if it is, then I really want them to actually have this character split into a tag unit, and then we basically have, a new tag unit that is actually busted after they defuse. So I feel like that would be the worst / best case scenario. And then the best case scenario, just overall, with no bad side to it, is that we just have a just pure standalone Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. And, we never really know if they do have him defuse. Maybe he's going to be so busted in his fusion form to the point where you barely even defuse like that. You know what I'm saying? Of course, with some of these fights that are going to be very long and tedious, you could end up defusing, if that ends up being his ability. But like I said, hopefully he is a standalone LR Gogeta. Now, as part of the campaign, we are getting a LR Nova Shinron. We're also getting the LR Omega Shinron. Him and Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta are going to be basically, the rivals of the banners for part 2. So I'm pretty hyped for that. I feel like this is what they're doing for the GT segment, since we had the Goku Black clone, little special that they added to the game, and all the Goku Black clones are pretty good. I still got to do a video on them. But as for the LR Nova Shinron, I feel like he's going to be, he's going to be a huge help for Omega Shinron, and really just the whole Shadow Dragon setup, just all together as one. I feel like, he's, if anything, he should be a great addition and like a good support unit. I would really hate if they gave us a Nova Shinron and this man just can't even do shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, in order for you to use him, he just needs to always be with Omega Shinron. And it's like, okay, bro, Dokkan, y'all did a good job with the Goku Black clones. We got to start dishing out more free-to-play characters that are actually good. So hopefully he is good. You will be able to go over to this event once it gets into the daily download, and you'll be able to complete it and get that awakened. Now, something else that is going to be going on with the Part 2 campaign is that the Super Saiyan 4s, we already have Rose and Vegito, my bad, with their campaign momentary buffs. Now we're going to get these Super Saiyan 4s, Goku and Vegeta, along with Baby. They're going to have their momentary buffs for this campaign, so they're going to get a lot of attack and defense added to their passives. And, well, really not their passive, but like, their actual their kits as far as their stats and all that. Those stats are going to go up tremendously for this momentary buff for these characters. So keep your eye out on that. If you want to get in a dub on one of the hardest stages of the game, and you really want to use the Super Saiyan 4 team. Let's say you have the 10th anniversary, AGL GT Goku, and then you have, the EZA Super Saiyan 4s, and then you end up pulling Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Now you just have an all-star squad team, to where you can just get whatever stage done in the game pretty much. And I feel like that is going to be the case, if you are able to build that team, then it's going to go pretty smooth for you. So as far as the GT support, this is pretty much what we needed. When I found out that the Part 2 celebration was like revolving around GT, I got really, really hyped. So the fact that we finally have a standalone Super Saiyan 4, it's going to be a big additional help for GT, and not only him, but also Omega Shenron, because if they can really put Battle of Fate on his leader skill along with a couple of other things, then Omega Shenron is actually going to be a big, huge support for the GT segment of the game. So pretty much, it's a good thing to be hyped for either one of these characters. I know for majority of the community, though, everybody's going to probably aim to pull for Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta first, and then they'll go into the other manner to pull Shenron. I completely understand if that is the case. And, like I said, just letting you know, that is probably going to be the case more than likely. But we do have a couple of EZAs, possibly some super EZAs that we could be looking at. So we could be looking at the STR Super Saiyan 4 Goku and the AGL Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. These two guys could be getting a huge EZA boost. And then we know for 11th anniversary, the STR Kid Goku and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, they're getting their EZA then, but I feel like this is still a good time to use them as well, because they aren't like a terrible character. They're just power corrupt. That's just the name of the game with Dokkan. And then in Super Saiyan 4 Goku, he's definitely, I feel like he's going to get a lot of good help from this celebration and, the drop of Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, because a lot of people have said that he's fell off. He's not really that viable anymore like that. So I'm pretty sure he's going to be on one of the banners too. So he will more than likely be on one of these banners. More than likely it's the Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta banner. Or he could be on Shenron's. They were kind of doing a little bit of switching up as far as the banner placement, just because it's an extreme character. They were still throwing super characters on their banner too. So we just have to wait and see what that's really going to look like, and we just have to kind of wait and see as far as what EZAs we get. Then I already went over the LR Nova Shenron that we're getting, but we're also going to be getting a TUR Pan, teenage Pan, yeah. So this is going to be the Pan from GT. She has some new renders out, so that's going to be another kind of like small buff to the GT hero side, or your superhero side of your GT team setup. And really, to wrap it all up, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, this is something that the Dokkan community has wanted for a very long time. It would have been hype if they had just a standalone blue Vegito for part 1. I feel like that really would have had people, that would have had the people going, bro. Standalone Vegito and standalone Gogeta in the same celebration? Man, they would have been thinking like, yo, so do y'all fuck with this celebration more than the 10th anniversary? Because y'all just giving us some like busted hype right now. So the thing is, like I said, there is kind of like a tear in the community as far as that Vegito. But I feel like they kind of redeemed themselves with this standalone Gogeta. So, fingers crossed. I'm praying that they don't defuse. I'm praying that it's just an all-out busted 2025 Fusion LR unit, man. That's all we need. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. We just need him in the game, and we need him to just bully through everything, dude. So that's what I'm hoping for. You guys can let me know down in the comments what your opinions and hopes are for these kits. They are going to have the live broadcast, I believe. What's today? The 22nd. So I believe it's going to be sometime tomorrow. I think it's going to be sometime tomorrow or like late tonight. But we're going to have the live broadcast. I do believe it's tomorrow at either 3 or 9 a.m. And once we basically get a better scope of that, that's when we can, get some more information. But yeah, that's pretty much what's going to be the deal. After the live broadcast, the banners will be out. But they've also released a statement that kind of made people kind of ponder, the truth. He thinks that maybe there's a small, minor chance that we could be getting the data download right before the live broadcast with the banners. So if the banners are out before the live broadcast, then it is what it is. But, typically they come out after the live broadcast, but we'll just have to wait and see. So yeah, let me know down in the comments what you think about part 2. And I will see you guys in the next Dokkan Battle video. You guys take care. Peace.